Video 3. Failure, it is only a failure if you quit. Failure doesn't really exist in my mind or in my principles unless you quit. It's a big thing that when I was younger, there was a couple of business opportunities that I was involved with that a lot of people probably would label as my big failures. I've been involved with setting up an affiliate marketing company. It was all right, but did it pay the bills? Did it really become sustainable? It was one of the projects I set up outside of when I finished my browser-based games. It just didn't really work out as I would. The one after that was actually through the affiliate marketing. Someone wanted to collaborate on building a food delivery service. As we know, as Just Eat Today and Deliveroo, we had our own food service that would be around lunch, corporate lunches, business lunches. We wanted to come up with a concept that was basically competing with the sandwich van. We absolutely despised of it. After a lot of investment, time, energy, employing people, buildings, everything, at the age of 20, it had to close 8 months later. Now, going through that whole process, before, during, after, because it didn't just stop after 8 months, there was a lot of business lessons that I learned very quickly then. I went through my own business school in that period of 18 months. I learned a lot about myself in that period. So people would label that as a failure, but I didn't quit. So I carried on learning from that. I looked at it as a lesson. Now I know what do I need to look at in my biggest lessons from that whole experience. So for instance, I don't sign personal guarantees anymore. That'll be my one biggest advice. Doesn't matter who you are, what you are. You know, even commercial property for our agency, someone was like, you need to sign a personal guarantee as a director. I was like, nah, we're good. We're in a good financial position. You know, this was even during COVID. So I was like, look, I'm not putting my signature on the line. And just a personal commitment for me now going forward. Don't do personal guarantees. So whenever you experience something, whatever it is that you've committed to, whether that's an idea, a concept, a business, and for whatever reason it doesn't work out, what is the lessons you can learn from it to then take you further? A great book that I've just listened to by Dave Goggins, that Can't Hurt Me. Brilliant Audible book. I recommend the Audible version. It's narrated like in a podcast. Big thing that he always said was it's not, you know, what he would say is that you set the bar higher. So, for instance, it came a point where he kept on trying to break a record, a pull-up record. Tried it 3 times, I think it was. And the first time, everyone was like, "Oh, yeah, well, it's because your physique is this." You know, it's got a lot of criticism for it. And he was like, "What? Let's do what he would call an after-report assessment." So, what went well? Listed off. What didn't go well? How can I then better that? So, for instance, like, was it this particular thing that caused a reaction or didn't help us with our goals, or actually we spent way too much money there, or we didn't keep an eye on this? You then go round 2, so you go to your next business or project, and you go at it with the knowledge that you've gone through from someone else looking at it as a failure. Is you go with that pre-perception or that perceptions or learnings into your next one. And then it's like, oh, great, actually, I've got more knowledge, I've got more experience. Actually, I need to go seek a better accountant than my last because actually they didn't advise me on this. I need to make sure I have legal advice because last time I didn't have legal advice. Or actually, I need to make sure that employees sign contracts because I didn't do contracts before. Or when I'm working with outside contractors, make sure they sign NDAs and confidentiality agreements and a contractor's agreement because they actually shafted me taking this and blah, 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 blah. Whatever those learnings are, They move you forward. They set the bar higher. So then it's not a failure. I don't believe in failure. You know, someone that has a U grade in art, I'm the most creative I've ever been. Like, so, you know, we look at these things to tell us these particular labels on us. You know, other people would say failure is the first attempt in learning, or you know, whatever the acronym is, or whatever you want to call it. All I would say is failure is only a failure if you quit. So if you're not willing to quit, you may have a little bit of a pity party after it. Whatever the situation's been, as long as you don't quit and you move forward, you learn from whatever that experience is, you ain't a failure. And even then, you're still not a failure, because I believe that you're always continuing to learn. Like in the first video I did, continue to learn. This is one way that I've learned. And they always say this, and this is that perception, that phrase that really bugs me. Oh, us humans always learn the hard way. You know, when I went through that business, it was that particular scenario. Someone said to me, well, it's just sometimes the way we learn is the hard way. And I'm like, what does that actually mean? Like, I put my heart and soul into this project, and that's the best advice you can give me. And there's some way to take from that. There's something to take from that, but it's not about the hard way or whatever way that the people put on you. It's just the point of don't give up. Like, you know, you can gain inspiration, you can gain drive from all sorts of methods and ways and tactics. But unless you're going to quit, you change the mindset of giving up, not worthy, self-worth issues, self-doubt, confidence issues. Like, just remember that you took action while others didn't. If you do an after report of what happened and when you get yourself right, and the quicker you do that, the better. Because the quicker you learn from these particular first times, these first learnings, the faster you'll move forward. So, don't quit. You're not a failure.